Hello everyone. In this session we will discuss the basic concepts of OOPS, means your objective oriented programming. So here in our objective oriented programming, so why we introduced that one to implement our real world entities. For example, inheritance and the hiding performance, polymorphism, etc. So many things here we can do in this programmatic, and we can bind together with the data and the functions also. So with the binding of the data and the functions, those are operating on them, and here no other part of the code can access this data except the our function. So it is mostly our OOPS concept is mostly depends on the functions. It is mostly depends on the functions, right? It is more, right? So here like that here we can perform with this. So let's see here what we have the basic concepts in this. So here we have some basic concepts: OOPS concepts, classes, objects, abstraction, inheritance, encapsulation, polymorphism. So let's discuss each and everything. So first we'll discuss the classes. First we'll discuss the classes. So here class is the set of data members and member functions. Here class is a set of data members. Here you can see class is a set of data members and also here member functions, and also here member functions. Your class is a set of data members and also here member functions. So means here so whatever we have the data members, these are about the state of the class. Here the data members can displace, or else here it can be explained like state of the class. So what is the use for this? State of the class. So at present here, which state we have, which state of data we have in the class, and here whatever you have the member of the functions, it can be performs like your behavior of the class. It can be displays the how the class is behaving whenever you're writing the program. So like your behavior of class. Data members means your state of the class, and a member function means behavior of the class. And here this can be divided into the three types. Here classes is divided into the three types. One is the local variables. First one is the local variables. So here these local variables or one type of variables only how we are writing the program. So normally we are writing the alphabets in like your our variables. Suppose in the programmatic if you are writing with the data type like your int a comma b, like that only we are writing our variables, right? So here in these local variables also we are using the variables only, but those are declared in the form of inside the method. These are declared in the form of inside the method. Okay, where we are declaring the local variables inside the method. Okay, so here I am writing inside the method. And next here we have the second one, that is the instance variables. Instance variables. So these instance variables also similar to the our local variables only, but here what is the difference means here these are declared into the inside the class. Your local variables are declared in the inside the method, but your instance variables are declared in the form of inside the class. In the C++ we are using our classes, right? So first here it can be defined inside the class. And next here, see, it is performing in the inside the class, but here outside the method. Outside the method. So your local variables are inside the method, instance variables are the outside the method. So, and also your inside the class. Instance variables are performing like you're inside the class but outside the method. And next here we have the third one, that is a class variables. Here we have the third one, that is the class variables. So these class variables also we can call like your static type, static variable type. So here you can see these class variables also declaring our variables only, and these are declared same like our instance variables, like your inside the class, okay, declared in the form of inside the class with static modifier, with static modifier. It can be used as the static modifier. And whatever you use at the static modifiers, they reside outside the method. See, they reside outside the method. So just here you can see local variables are written in the inside the method. Instance variables are written in the inside of the class but the outside of the method. Here these class variables are declaring with the static modifier. So means here whenever you're defining the variables, you have to be use the static word, static keyword. And they reusing the our outside the method, means this is also outside of the method. So whatever you are using the static with the variable, that is also in the outside of the method only. But you are normally you are taking the int a, int b, like that you are choosing, right? So same like that only we are choosing with the data type and the variables. Instead of that, here before we are choosing the one modifier with a keyword type like your static. After that you can declare the our data type with this. Okay, so just you can see the example, you will be understand how it will be looks like your these variables. Let's see here. So first here I am choosing the our class. For example program, this is first I am choosing the class. So after that we need to be choose the class name. So just I am taking the class name is like your A. Okay, just alphabet A I am choosing. And after that you need to be open. And then I am using the public. Public. So after starting of the public here, so here this is the inside the class. Now we are in the inside the class. We started the class, right? So now we are in the inside the class. Inside the class here, we need to be declare the instance variables and the class variables. So first I am choosing the class variable. This class variable will be having the static modifier, right? So here I am starting with the static. And next here I am choosing int b. Okay, and next int b, sorry, int c. And next again I am choosing the public. Okay, and next I am choosing the public. So in this again I am choosing the function. Just I am writing the one function. In that function I am writing the int d, and then close the our methods. You can see like this. Suppose for example I am writing the program. So first what we have here, Local variables. These local variables are declared in the form of inside the method. You can see this is the method. Your function is the our method. So normally we can write a main method. Okay, void main type like that. So here I wrote like your function. So this is the method now. So function method. Okay, so this function is having the int and the d. So this is a variable entry, right? D is the variable now. So means we can call this is the local variables. Local variables. And next here you can see. Here we have the int c and the static int b. So instance variables are declaring in the inside the class. You can see inside the class. And here after the class starting we started the our int c, right? And next here but outside the method. So here we have the method, but it is defined in the inside of the class only. So means your int c is the our declaration point. So int c you can declare this is the our instance variables. This is the our instance variables. And next here we have the classic variables. Those variables are taking the static modifier. You can see here this is our static modifier with a variable, okay, int b. Okay, and then here these are also in the our outside of the method. You can see function is here we have, but here these are all in the before only. So means this is the our class variable, or else here you can say this is the static variable, or else you can say this is the static variable. So like this here we can declare the our classes. And next here we have the second one, that is the objects. Here we have the second one, that is the objects. You can see now. So here if we need to be perform the objects, right? So here this can be defined like your our instance of a class. So why you are using the objects means here to access the our member of the classes. So here the object is like your instance of a class. So by using this instance of a class, we can access the member of a class. Okay, so instance of a class, or else you can say here object is instance of a class which is used to access the members of a class. Like this here we can say. So suppose if you are writing the syntax for this. So suppose if you are declaring this one, you can see. So the declaration can be done in the form of these are also similar to the our variable declaration. How you are declaring the variables, so same like that only here also we can declare the our objects. For example, here I am choosing the syntax. So first see the syntax, right? So here the object is defined, or else it is the instance of the our class, right? So you can see first we need to be write the class name, and after you need to be write your object name, and next here you can write the object name. For example, here I'm choosing class name is like your student. I'm choosing the class name is like your student. So here you need to be write the object name. So you can write your object name student, or else here you can write your second format student std. So anyway, so it may be the student objects to student, or else your student std. You can write your any one of them, there is no problem. So here this is the student is the name of the class, and object students is the reference variable. Your object student is the reference variable. Okay, so this by using this reference variable we can represent the our object, so which can represent the our objects. So this reference variable object students is declared in the form of our object, so that can be holds the address of an object. Whatever you have the object student, that can holds the address of the object here, address of the object. So like this here we can declare the our object. And next here we have third one, that is abstraction. Third one is the abstraction. So here this abstraction can be done in the form of like in this here you can hide the implementation details and you can show only the functionality. So how first we'll write the definition. So hides the implementation, hides the implementation details. So whatever you created, so those details are not displayed to us, and it shows, okay, and it shows only the functionality, only the functionality. It's like your our mobiles, so we don't know how they prepared, right? So but here we are using, so that is a functionality. For example, you can see suppose you are withdrawing the, for example I am choosing the ATM, for example I am choosing the ATM. So here we are withdrawing the money from the ATM, right? Suppose here the end user means here we are the users, right? So suppose here the end user is typing the password in the ATM, right? So that is accepted by the our ATM, and after that here it is performing the whatever the ATM is provided the services. How it will be performed, right? This is automatically like your our internal processing. Whatever we given the processing, that is performed by the ATM here. But the abstraction is mainly focuses what the object, and next year that cannot know how it will be works. So just you are withdrawing the money from the ATM, but you don't know what will be happens in the ATM. So that is like your functionality. So functionality means here that is giving the money to you, but here whatever you given the implementation details into the ATM, that will not hides, that will not shown you. Like here that is that information will be hides in the ATM performance. Okay, so any example you can choose, or else here you can see the car example. So so many ways, like here if you're driving like that, so in that we know how the car will be moves or like that, right? So suppose here the person needs to increase the, or else here increase the speed. So in that time they are pressing the accelerator, right? So then here the car will be goes to the very speed, or else here it can be applies to the brakes. Then here our stops the car, but he doesn't know what about that. Means the functionality is known by the our car who are driving the car, but here he doesn't made the car, right? So for that case here, you don't know whatever we have the inner mechanism for the car. So whatever we implemented for the accelerator and the brakes, for that case here, you just know how to drive only. So inside parts here, what we have and how to implement those will not know everything. So just here abstraction is like your hides the information details and shows the only functionality. Like that here, it is like here, for example, you can choose the ATM. It can be performs the whatever the user is entered, but it not shows the implementation process. That's it. And next here we have the fourth one. So next here what we have, inheritance. We have the inheritance. So here inheritance is nothing but your parent and child class type. So means here you can see so it is working from one class to another class. Your inheritance is acquiring the one class to another class. So that one class, from one class to another class, right? So one class here we are calling parent class. That one class is calling parent class. So that too, it is moving to the another class. Another class. Here we are choosing the another class is the child class, called child class. Here inheritance is done by the parent and the child manner. Suppose you can see the parent. So here whatever you have the parent class, here we have the parent class, right? So this parent class is also known as base class, or else here we can call the super class. And here we have the child class. The child class is also called like derived class or else subclass, right? So here first the parent is having the some elements or anything, so any features or anything. So here the parent class contains the own features. So here child class is having their own features also, but here this child classes is also performing the our parent class features, like your the child class is performing the both the parent and child class features into this. So once you created the object by the parent class, that can be accessed only by the our parent class members. You created the object in the child class, so this child class is accessing the our members, both the child class and the parent class. So why? Because your child will not having the more knowledge than the parents. It is always you're performing the dependency. Parent class is the independent class, child class is the dependency performance. So in that time here the child class is acquiring the properties of the parent class, right? So by using the one keyword here it can be performed. So what we have the keyword here, that is the extend keyword. So here it can be performed the one keyword, that is the extend keyword. Suppose here you can see, for example, I'm choosing the fruits. Okay, for example, you can choose fruits. So this is the parent class. Your fruit is the parent class. So this fruit will be having the several fruits, right? So like here you can choose apple, banana, and grapes. So many fruits you can choose here. So fruits is the our parent. Here whatever you have the fruits names, those are the here our child classes. Okay, so or else here you can choose the any example with the form of animals, or else here car parts. So the main here we have the car, in that what we have the parts. Any example you can choose here. So the main object is we have a parent. Inside what we have means here, that is the child class. Here always child class is depends on the parent class. And next here we have the fifth one, that is the encapsulation. Next here we have the encapsulation. Fifth one. So this encapsulation can be performed the member of the functions, means here it can be binds the data members and corresponding the methods into a single module, that we can call like your class. So here first it is performing the binding data. Binding data. It is doing the binding data members. So in the classes we have the data members, right? So like that. And after that here it can be corresponding it can be corresponding the our methods, whatever you have the methods into a single module, into a single module, that we can call like your class, that we can call like your class. So first you need to be bind the data members, and then here you can correspond the methods so into the single module type here, that we can call here class. And here you can protect them from the from accessing of the outside the code. And then here we can call this instance of a class within the form of object manner. And your whatever you have the data and the functions into the class, that we can call like here our members of the class, our members of the class. Suppose here you can see, for example, you have the in our real life, for example in our real life we have any company. For example, here I'm writing the companies. So in that company you have like account sections, financial sections, sales sections, anything you can choose. So suppose if you have any financial section, you are handling that one, right? So what we are handling, financial transactions type, right? So and also you are keeping the records of all the data related to our finance. Okay. And same like that only here sales section is also handling our sales related activities, and also it can be keeps our records of the sales. So like that here whatever you have the main object, so that object is performing the inside, right? So here in the real time here you can perform like this. Encapsulation is binding the data and the functions, and you can manipulate them into this. So here this is the our main object. Okay, so like your main class, by using this here whatever you have in that we can perform. Okay, and next here we have the sixth one, that is the our polymorphism. So here this polymorphism, so first here what is the poly here? So poly means many, morph means forms, morph means forms. By using the polymorphism here we can perform the many forms, or else we can perform the multiple forms at the same time. Okay, right here. So by using the polymorphism we can design and implement these systems that we can extensible more easily. Okay, so we can design and implement systems. We can perform the design and the implement systems. So by using that here you can extend the our performance in the easy way. So here poly means many and the morph means forms, right? So by using this here we can perform the multiple forms, right? So here polymorphism is the ability to take care more than one form, ability to take care more than one form. So it can be performed in two ways. The polymorphism can be done in the form of two ways. One is the static polymorphism and second one is the dynamic polymorphism. First one is the static and second one is the dynamic. So if you are performing the static polymorphism, so it can be performed in the compile time. So whatever you performing by the static polymorphism, so it can be performed itself in the compile time process. And mostly this is working in for example, best example for this static is the method overloading. So here best example is the method overloading. So best example, method overloading. And here this dynamic polymorphism can be done in the form of runtime. This is runtime, and the best example for this is method overriding. Method overriding. So like this here we can work the our polymorphism. Okay, so if you like the video, subscribe to my channel. Thank you for the watching.